Good evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. A Blackrock man said to be in his 40s is the island's latest murder. According to reports, he was shot multiple times about the head and body. The shooting occurred in Goddard's Road, St. Stephen's Hill, Blackrock, St. Michael, sometime between 3:30 and 3:40 this afternoon. Residents identified him by the alias Wild Geese. However, police have not released his name. Scores of people, including family members, friends and neighbors, gathered at the scene. Heavily armed police officers kept close watch.
I can confirm at this time that police are conducting investigations into the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of a male in his 40s, which occurred sometime after 3 p.m. this afternoon here at Goddard's Road, St. Stephen's Hill, Blackrock in St. Michael. At around 3:40 this afternoon, police received a report of a man being shot at this address. And responding to the report, the lifeless body of the man with multiple gunshot injuries to the body was discovered. Our investigations are continuing.
Well, after heavy rain today, a flood warning in effect for Barbados was discontinued at 6 this evening. Joining us now is weather presenter Selma Green, who's going to give us an update.
Thanks, Shane. And yes, the axis of that wave has passed through. The leading edge is now around 61 degrees west, which is just to the west of us. But there's still quite a bit of moisture trailing behind that tropical wave, a strong tropical wave, and that moisture will continue to affect us tonight and into tomorrow. So we can continue to expect some showers, some rain, and even some isolated thunderstorms. By tomorrow, though, as that moisture moves out of the area, we will be seeing improving weather conditions. That wave, though, will go on to affect the Windward Islands and the southern Leeward Islands throughout tonight and into most of tomorrow. And of course, you can stay tuned as we take a more detailed look at that system and what else has been happening around the region in tonight's weather news.
Okay, thank you so much. Residents in several parts of St. Michael and Christchurch stock up on water, at least for part of tomorrow. The Barbados Water Authority is announcing plans to shut down the island's biggest pumping station at the Bell, a facility connected to service thousands of homes in those two parishes. The shutdown between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon will facilitate the installation of more new equipment, this time 2 submersible pumps. Bridgetown and surrounding areas in St. Michael could feel the effects of outages and low pressure, including the Pine, Wildy, Waterford, Grisettes, Cave Hill, Codrington, Spooners Hill, Bush Hall, Whitehall, Clapham and Britton's Hill. Over in Christchurch, St. Matthias, the south coast from Hastings to Oistins, Fort George Heights, Marine Gardens, Rendezvous Gardens, Welch's, Sergeant's Village, Vauxhall, Sheraton and surrounding districts may feel the impact. As a result of any possible outage, the BWA's Rapid Response Unit is on standby to service any areas affected by the Bell shutdown. Manager of Communications and the Rapid Response Unit, Joanne Haig, is encouraging Barbadians to store water during this period. But she says her unit will ensure it services districts where there is an outage for an unexpectedly long period of time. She explains that even with more trucks to meet public demand, emergency services are given priority.
We have a priority list which consists of medical and basically the essential services. So when we do that, and that happens, we may then have to take off the rapid response team from the domestic customers then to a hospital, for example, or to a clinic. So that's why it's important too for people to store water, and so they wouldn't rely on the tanks less. Normally that can happen when we have scheduled work. Once we have scheduled work, the team will go out, but we normally tell customers beforehand to store water, but we still dispatch the teams. We found though that the public actually been listening, because we found that we got to many places when we had scheduled work, people didn't take a lot of water because they already had water stored. So we want to thank them for that.
Look out for Water Wednesdays tonight in our evening news to get more information about how the Rapid Response Unit responds during such events. The much-anticipated weekend of steel pan music within the Cropover Festival begins on July 14th with Pan Fusion. The event will be held at Ilaro Court under the theme Legends and Prodigies. The show will feature 4 segments, the first of which will be a tribute to the late musician Adrian Boo Husbands. Senior event planner at the National Cultural Foundation, Karen Pestena, talks about who will be involved.
When I wanted to do this, the first person I could think of was Nicholas Branca, because he was extremely close to Boo. So Nicholas and a lot of Boo's friends will be coming together. And even though Boo does not have any original music, we knew the wide expanse of different genres that Boo loved. And this is what is going to be portrayed by Nicholas and his friends.
Other artists being featured on the show included Ziggy Walcott and his band, Dane Gulston out of Trinidad, and entertainer Lil Rick in a special session designated Track and Steel. NCF CEO Cranston Brown says Pan Fusion has over the years made an indelible mark as the premier steel event.
It has certainly made an indelible mark, firmly positioned in this niche market as the premier Pan event. The popularity of Pan continues to grow, seen through the increasing crowds at these events from year to year, and evidenced by the interest in the many workshops developed and implemented by the music desk of the National Cultural Foundation Musical Department. The growing interest in this event reached its pinnacle with over 1,000 attending in 2016, its largest patronage to date.
And for the 7th straight year, First Citizens Bank is on board as a sponsor. CEO Carol Jean-Marie says they recognized very early the benefits of Pan Fusion to the art form and artists.
First Citizens recognize the inherent potential for Pan Fusion to develop into a sustainable activity that not only brings entertainment and enjoyment to a diverse audience, but very importantly for us at First Citizens, what we saw that Pan Fusion as an event had tremendous potential for supporting the arts, for developing young talent, and for opening doors, in particular, the doors of opportunity for many up-and-coming talented Barbadian artists.
There is a suggestion that Barbados policymakers need to listen more closely to the island's various youth councils. It comes from popular talk show host Corey Lane. He was speaking as the moderator during a youth forum put on by the Global Shapers Bridgetown Hub. Mr. Lane says he has seen youth councils in other countries become a critical part of policymaking.
I grew up in a time I watched the Scottish Youth Parliament, the National Youth Council of St. Lucia, Jamaica, and so on. I watched them being taken seriously to the point where, as the Barbados Youth Parliament, we had a meet under the Tarvin Tree in Queen's Park. They were meeting in the Senate. A lot of them now are senators and ministers in St. Lucia, in Jamaica. Look and see where they came from. They came from the Youth Council. They're now making policy. That means that we can do better. We can do better in terms of listening to our student councils. We can do better in terms of listening to our youth councils, our Barbados Youth Parliaments, whatever it is, the organizations. We can listen and we can actually facilitate.
Queue in the community scheduled for tomorrow has been cancelled due to circumstances beyond CBC's control. Please stay tuned to the CBC stations or visit the Queue in the community Facebook page for updates. You can also join us this Friday from noon in the car park here at CBC for the Festival Zone, where you can line dance, eat, drink, and enjoy the crop over vibe. Okay, we'll take a short break and come back with more news.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
We start with a yes. But when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel to anywhere. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
I have diabetes and every decision I make is important. I choose Glucerna to maintain a healthy nutrition. I drink it and recommend it to my patients.
Glucerna with Carb Steady is designed for people with diabetes, helps minimize blood sugar spikes, and it's delicious. Glucerna, your good decision of the day.
Looking for the best stage of the festival? It's the Cbc Festival Stage, where the stars are sure to appear.
Yes, I get a lot of crap. Listen, there are a lot of people that are recording that shouldn't be doing it. They should be sweeping the road, as far as I'm concerned.
So don't get on that because the whole of Barbados set go down, that all of a sudden that go down, it cannot be bashment soca, it got to cross over into the main soca. But that sample condemn rhythm from Jamaica, no, but your criteria, that make it bashment soca.
I am saying that when you look at the music over the years, it was never given an identity.
Watch Festival Stage Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays live on CBC TV 8 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Festival Stage is repeated on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9:03 p.m. and Fridays at 10:03 p.m.
Barbados Lumber Company, Waterford and Spikestown will afford Barbadians the opportunity to prepare for the hurricane season with 20% discount store-wide this Friday, June 30th and Saturday, July 1st. That's right, 20% discount store-wide at Barbados Lumber Company this Friday and Saturday. Get your lumber, plywood, permaclad, nails, torchlights, batteries, and other emergency items at bargain prices. This offer does not apply to cement and already reduced items. Terms strictly cash.
Barbados Lumber Company.
One long-standing business will soon fade from the landscape in Spikestown. CBC understands Wally's Enterprises Limited, which started back in 1971, will be closing next month. Rianne Phillips reports.
For just over 45 years, Wally's Enterprises Limited has been a landmark in the northern town. However, this closing down sale is a sign that its end is quickly approaching. Founder Oswald Waldron didn't speak to us on camera. However, he says the building has been sold. He was busy assisting customers in the store. Many of them are sad to see it go.
From the time I knew myself, a little boy running about in Spikestown, my mom, my late mom, my sister, introduced me to Wally's. It was over the other side of the road, just below the parish church where the restaurant is now. And you could come at Wally's and get anything and deal with back to school, clothes for church. Because most of us grew up at in St. Peter's Parish Church. We had a good church there. And if Wally's didn't have it, nobody in Spikestown had it. So Wally's store, or we call it Mr. Wally's, he is an icon in Spikestown when it comes to business.
Coming to Wally's, when you want white shirts, white socks, school shirts, and material, just to get here when you can make it town. Just to get the transport. So it was good. Sets coming from North. It was good getting here.
As a young boy going to primary school, it's really obvious. This was the place to come to get your school uniform. And Wally knew my grandfather and my mother. And back in those days, your mother could send you over to Wally's and you could choose your clothes. And normally this was the place where you have a lay-down plan where you could always pay. And I think up to this day, he still does that. So to see Wally's leave Spikestown is what should I say? It is a very, might be heart-rendering.
One business owner sees the closure as a cycle of positive changes in the town.
I wish him all the best. I think he have done a yeoman job for Spikestown. As far as I heard, another business person will be coming. I don't know, I have no proof to it, but in the same lines of Wally's, which will give more to Spikestown.
However, Mr. Waldron has inspired at least one of his relatives to follow in his footsteps.
I want to be an entrepreneur maybe later on in life because I think that's the best way to go in life. I don't really want to work under people and stuff like that. So, yeah.
While the sun will soon set on this business, it is clear its legacy will forever live on.
I wish Mr. Waldron all his best and his family, and thanks for the contribution he had made to Spikestown.
Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Barbados has developed a reputation for providing quality health care, due in no small measure to its heavy investment in education. That was one of the points made as the premier medical center, the island's newest health care facility, was officially opened. One of its directors, Giles Carmichael, pointed out the center will build on the country's reputation for healthcare excellence.
Barbados is extremely fortunate to have consistently produced and attracted medical practitioners with immense skill and strong reputations for excellence both nationally and internationally. It is this level of excellence which has been envisioned for this center so as to mirror that of our medical practitioners, and also create an ambulatory care center with international standards. Ambulatory care centers are modern healthcare facilities focused on providing same-day surgical care through minimally invasive procedures and the application of advanced technologies. Similar centers across the world have transformed the experiences for millions of patients, making them the preferred alternative to hospital-based outpatient procedures.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Joy St. John said the facility is a welcome addition to the healthcare system.
I am confident to say that the addition of this type of facility to Barbados' healthcare system, the first of its kind, offers new scope in the quality and high standards of healthcare choices within Barbados' healthcare system. The Ministry of Health is also aware that the services that are being offered to both local and overseas patients are of the highest quality. Indeed, combining the two sectors, tourism and health, will provide a more diversified tourism base.
There's some advice for teachers on the choice of words they use when speaking to students. Minister of Education Ronald Jones wants them to be more selective when choosing certain words, phrases, and statements. He says some words which may seem harmless can shatter a child's confidence. He cited an example of a student celebrating success in the recent 11+ exam.
Every student who does the 11+ is successful. Our system don't speak of failures because it's not set up that way. It is set up simply to allocate. So the teacher, the child celebrating, and the teacher says to the child, shut up. You know you barely made it into that school, that specific school.
Mr. Jones likened today's youth to crude diamonds and teachers as master craftsmen and women.
Crude diamond, which came from the exertion of pressure, tremendous pressure in the bowels of the earth. But the diamond doesn't emerge. But a crude diamond emerges in all kinds of forms and shapes. And then the master cutter shapes it into beautiful diamond, reflecting light and color.
Finishing primary school is a big milestone for many Barbadians. For the 72 students of West Terrace Primary, it was not only their graduation but a day of celebration, recognizing their many achievements as their time at the institution comes to a close.
This performance summed up the feeling of the 2017 graduating class of West Terrace Primary. They are confident that with the knowledge garnered, they are ready to make that transition to secondary school life. Principal Beverly Burrows likened the graduating class to rock climbers, staying true to the theme, climbing to higher heights. She recognized all teachers who have helped to shape the lives of these graduates.
At graduation, we are tempted to think of the teachers who taught the students in class 4. Be reminded that thanks must therefore go not only to the class 4 teachers, but the teachers who held the hands of the 4- and 5-year-olds to teach them to form their first letters or take them to the bathroom. The teachers who sympathize and empathize, who listen to little problems and solve little issues. I therefore must commend this morning the reception teachers as well as the entire infant department for their patience and understanding with these students who would have passed through their hands.
Pastor Glenworth Joseph encouraged the students to prepare themselves as they climb that academic mountain.
One of the greatest obstacles is not what is
before you, but it might very well be yourself. If you're climbing a mountain, you may find that your legs become tired and weak. Your heart begins to race, and you get giddy, and maybe you feel like giving up. You have to learn to persevere. You are going on to higher learning. You must learn to mentally persevere. It is not going to be the spoon feeding of primary school anymore, the teachers who come to you all the time. At this time, teachers will expect you to come to them.
Minister of Industry Donald Ennis reminded parents that they must continue to give support to children in their new schools.
We do not see enough parents getting involved in Parent Teachers Association meetings. We don't see enough parents getting involved in the activities at the school. Your task cannot be just to drop the child off and pick them up on evenings. And as your child goes on into secondary school, I can only urge you to pay even more attention to what is taking place within the school. It gives you a far better understanding of the environment that will shape your child's own future. I also say that you must be the example that you wish your child to be. It's not anybody else's responsibility to do such. So as parents do have a very serious responsibility.
The most outstanding female student in the 11+ examination was Rician Alexander, and the most outstanding male, Zion Brathwaite. Both will be attending Queen's College come September. Congratulations. Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
The number of children showing interest in a contest geared at making them better public speakers has dropped by half this year. News of this from Managing Director and Acting Chief Executive Officer of Republic Bank, Sean Hussein. Mr. Hussein was speaking at the final of the bank's annual Right Start Primary School speech competition recently. Sharika Griffith has more.
4 girls and 2 boys made it all the way to the finals of this year's contest. Managing Director and Acting Chief Executive Officer of Republic Bank, Sean Hussein, says it's the most significant developmental initiative which the bank undertakes. He therefore longs for the day when all schools participate.
This year, regrettably, only 18 primary schools and 35 children participated, just about half of what we had last year. We do look forward to the day when students from all primary schools across Barbados, both public and private, participate in this contest. Today, we ask you for your support in making this vision a reality.
He also wishes more boys would get involved in the competition, which targets children ages 9 to 11. Mr. Hussein believes that instilling the confidence which allows them to address large audiences from an early age will set them on a path to success.
To begin to hone this skill while young ensures the development of confidence in these young people. The ability to clearly articulate a thought process is essential for success in all spheres of activity. If we can tell people what we are thinking, how we arrive at decisions, how we intend to do something, and in a manner that is clear, structured, and concise, it does make human interaction that much easier.
The competition was stiff, as the little ones did an excellent job representing their schools. In the end, Brandon Boyer Maloney of Gordon Walters Primary was awarded the top spot for his speech entitled The Legal System.
You can't wake up one day and decide that your 8-year-old, 10-year-old, or 14-year-old will no longer go to school. Parents have to make sure that their children are in school, or else the law or legal system will show you who is boss.
Darren King and Azaria Low Paris, both of Lawrence Tigay, secured 2nd and 3rd places respectively.
What is biodiversity? And the Google lady said, biodiversity is the variety of creatures. It's diversity within species and ecosystems. Contest share. Judges, guess. Your faces tell me you don't understand. Don't worry. Me neither.
I define social media as hashtags, trends, filters, and my favorite, selfies.
The other competitors were Adanike Watts and Amaria Brathwaite, who did Hinesbury Primary proud, and Tishani Jordan of Christchurch Girls. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
After the break, we'll take a look at stories making headlines across our region.
Diamond Dazzler, it's time to play. Diamond Dazzler, the new instant $250,000 scratch game from the Barbados Lottery. Available at select lottery outlets.
Peoples, we store just got even better. Come on in. Come down to the new renovated People's Market in Tudor Bridge with bigger aisles and even more in store. All your general grocery needs. A whole new fruits and vegetables section. Beer, wine and liquor. A wide selection of meat and fish. And everything for your outdoor chilling and barbecue grilling. But most of all, everything at low prices. Right, Miss Edwards?
That's right, Ma. And now we have the People's Mall too.
People, come on down to the People's Market in Tudor Bridge.
Community Files.
The St. George Parish Independence Committee, in collaboration with the St. George Parish Church, will stage a harvest market on Saturday, July 1st at the Glee Playing Field from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will be hydroponics, aquaponics, and greenhouse farming displays, as well as cottage industries, arts and craft, jewelry, vegetables, and plant stalls. Indigenous food and local wine will also be on sale. You may bring your diseased plants or photos of them to the plant clinic at the harvest market from noon to 3 p.m. and get advice on plant pests and diseases. Entertainment will also be provided. For more information, contact Marilyn Eversley at 267-6521.
Are you positive? You are negative. HIV-free.
Are you positive? You are negative. Get tested and see.
Are you positive? You are negative. Are you okay?
Are you positive? You are negative. Get tested today.
Live Up, the Caribbean Media Alliance, in association with Scotiabank, PANCAP, and local ministries and departments of health, are for the 10th anniversary of Regional Testing Day, providing free HIV testing and counseling. Visit us online at iliveup.info for a schedule and full list of testing sites. Shouldn't you know your status? Live up for those you love, protect, and respect. Come on, get tested.
Are you positive? You are negative. Live up today.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
The reported increase of criminal activity in Guyana's Sophia district over the past few months has increased pressure on the police in the C Division, and the commander is adding more patrols in that area. Javon Vickery reports.
Commander of C Division Calvin Brutus, during an interview with Nightly News, explained that currently the division's capacity to patrol all 5 blocks within the Sophia district is under pressure, and with the current state of affairs in Sophia, it is inadequate.
We have a patrol dedicated for Turkine area, and Turkine area include the fields, the 4 fields, part of A coming right through to D field. And a vehicle covers that day and night. We've also instituted a motorcycle patrol that helped to support the 4-wheel vehicle patrol. We were not able to have a dedicated patrol just for one field.
To remedy this problem, the commander stated that the division will implement a plan to extend the number of patrols taking place in the area, both day and night.
Well, I've had a discussion with my staff to institute an Aberdeen patrol in that general area, day by day and by the early part of the evenings, to assist in alleviating some of the concerns by the residents.
Mr. Brutus further stated that while the Sophia district, specifically Seafield, has been calling on the police to do more in terms of ensuring their security, acts of crime are not reported. In a matter of weeks, according to Mr. Brutus, an inspector of police will be deployed to raise the level of security, specifically targeting A and B field.
It was like something out of a movie as a rogue police officer in a helicopter launched an attack on Venezuela's Supreme Court. Here's that story.
Dramatic footage of the police helicopter launching an attack on the Supreme Court. Grenades were dropped, but who was flying the helicopter, Patrick? Incredibly dramatic, Richard. You know, Venezuelans are no strangers, unfortunately, to violence, but it's safe to say they've never seen anything like this attack that went on for over an hour, we're told yesterday, where a police helicopter, apparently having gone rogue, started bombarding the center of the city's Supreme Court Interior Ministry with grenades, exchanging fire with security forces. No one, the government said, somehow was hurt in this attack, but it really shows the incredible tensions that Venezuelans are feeling. Of course, months of protests have gone on over the lack of food and medicines and the socialist government's refusal to call elections. And now you have apparently a member of the police force going rogue, saying that there are other members of the military and police who have joined him to essentially start a revolution against the government. This has the government of Nicolas Maduro, he's a president, very, very concerned, because in years past, when the economic situation in Venezuela got bad, deteriorated as it has now, it has been the military that has stepped in and caused there to be a change. So last night we saw Nicolas Maduro addressing his country and saying that he will wage war to keep that from happening, Richard.
Retired Major General Stuart Saunders has been appointed as the National Security Advisor for St. Kitts and Nevis. According to an official statement, the appointment of the Jamaican national, who met with Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris yesterday, was approved by Cabinet. The retired Army chief is finalizing his contract and meeting with high-ranking members of the security forces and other stakeholders. The statement said the retired Army official gave a firm commitment that he would do all he can to reverse the trend of crime and violence in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
A peek into the world of sports is just ahead, but before we get there, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.